happy with themselves in some way. And so that comes across in all of the relationships they have and how they go about making the relationships, how they go about networking, how they go about really trying to build their business. Because what happens when we're not liking ourselves is we play small. And what that means is we start going to people who are at our level or below us instead of reaching out to a higher level to connect with people who can really move us forward the way we want to be. And so it's really interesting. I'm going to recap because we just started the recording and some people are going to watch this on the replay. But we're talking about learning to love dealing with large amounts of money and people who have it. And one of the things that I find and I have found working with the people I work with is when we're starting to move into larger amounts of money, when we're starting to move into larger deals, we start to really notice those cracks that we have as human beings. And we start to really notice where we're insecure. And so what we do is we start playing at a lower level than we're really capable of. I know I'm guilty of that. I've played at lower levels for a long time and got real comfortable with things just staying the same instead of stepping into my greatness. And I see that that happens to a lot of my clients and a lot of the people around. We want to play bigger. We want to step into the bigger scenes. We want to do more things. We want to help more people. But what we end up doing is we end up stifling ourselves or hesitating or procrastinating those bigger moves. A lot of people in the mentorship and a lot of people in this Alchemist Nation find themselves wanting to step forward, wanting to move up, and then hesitating when the money's on the line. They think they got to go find the right lender. They think they got to go find the right deal. They crunch numbers over and over and over again, not making offers because they're trapped in this situation where they're not confident with themselves, so they don't move forward. And they think that when I get enough confidence, I'm going to move forward. The problem is that we need to move forward in order to develop the confidence. I know that Robert had situations where he was wanting to move forward and make offers, and he was thinking that if he could just get the confidence to do it, he would start making offers. Turns out that we actually, on a phone call together, had him step by step put the offer in. And since then, he's been putting offers in over and over and over again. He's still has that hesitation every once in a while, but we all do. I know I do. When I start moving into bigger business situations and I start talking to people who have the multiple $1 million, start to hesitate. Hear me gasp? And he said, oh, shoot, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to want to work with me. I don't have that resume. I don't have that past. I don't have that track record that I can move forward. How are they going to ever believe that I can do what I say I can? And it comes from the confidence of taking action in those situations where you haven't taken that action before. It's about a leap of faith. It's about believing in yourself and knowing that you can step forward. When we know we can step forward, when we can play those bigger games, when we can do those bigger things, we start to see in a different way what we're doing and how we're doing it. The problem is that we have our head and it talks to us a lot. It talks to us about what we can't do. And it talks to us about what's going to get in the way. And we start to focus on those things that get in the way instead of move us forward. And what we talk about all the time in Alchemist Nation is what you focus on grows. And if we start worrying about what's not going to work, we focus on it and we grow it bigger. And then we start to get more frightened that people aren't going to believe in us. We start to get frightened that people aren't going to have faith in us. We start to get frightened that the deal is going to fall through, or that we're going to not be able to perform the way we want to perform, or that the money's not going to sign. Whatever it is, we start to talk ourselves out of moving forward. And so what do? How do we move forward then? Some of the ideas that I think about is, number one, we want to identify that stuff when it comes up. We don't want to live in it and react to it. We want to identify it. Hey, I'm feeling frightened that they're not going to follow through. I'm feeling embarrassed that I'm even asking. I'm feeling pressured that I need to have this done. When I can identify that, I can actually move into feeling more freedom because I can admit the pressure. I can admit that I'm having these feelings, and I can then take action on what's next. I can have the courage to go and ask for help for somebody that knows where I'm at. How do I approach this situation? How do I move forward? One of the things that I do often is I talk to Gualter, or I talk to another coach, or I talk to one of my coaches that have been in the business for 20 years. And I say, how am I supposed to go and talk to somebody about a $10 million deal when I haven't done a $10 million deal? And then we put a strategy together. We put a presentation together, and then we go and talk to the people about it. And when I say we, I mean I. But I take that conversation that I had, and I take the confidence that I had in that conversation with me, and I borrow that faith, and I borrow that conversation, and I go in and talk to the people that I need to in a one-on-one situation to see how we can work together. Now, one of the big pieces that I want to really look at when we're talking about learning to love large amounts of money, and we're learning to love dealing with people that have it, is they're just people. Those people are just people too. And before they had the large amounts of money, they didn't. And before they were in those situations where they were confident about what they can do and what they are doing, they were in the position where I am, or where you are, where they didn't have either. And a lot of times what our head does is it tells us that they'll never relate to us. They've never been there. They don't know what it's like to be broke. They don't know what it's like to want and not have. But the fact is they do. And so what we can do is we can go and talk to them. It's funny. I have had several careers in my life, and every time I have moved into a career, let's see, I was a mechanic once for a number of years. I worked in restaurants for a number of years, and all of these careers I moved up, and I got to a very, very high level when I decided I wanted to do something else. I kind of collected careers like our friend Patrick Sullivan collects licenses. And I'd go in, and what I'd do is I'd find the person who had the level of skill that I wanted, and I'd ask them how they did it. And I'd ask them what I should do next. And I would just create a mentorship with those people by asking them questions from a place of real appreciation for what they do, what they know, where they're at. And I just talk to them about how I can learn to be like them. And funny enough, I went in Portland, Oregon in 1993, I think. I went to a place called Atwater's. It was the best restaurant in town, the absolute best restaurant in town. I was working at a place called River Place, Newport Bay, which was a fish house. Very, very good, 4-star restaurant, pretty good. But I went to the best restaurant with the best chef in town. He had been there at that restaurant for about a year, and he had his resume was cordon bleu in France, and he was just high level. And so I went to him and I said, how do I become like you? And he told me, go cook something in the kitchen. It blew me away. And so I cooked a dish, and he hired me that day. And I worked for him for a while. As I moved forward, I learned from him, and I started to learn a whole lot more. I ended up having 2 jobs. I worked for him doing banquet stuff, and I worked at Newport Bay at night, working the regular job I had, and it was amazing, and I learned a lot. But I would have never done it if I didn't go after someone who had what I wanted. Now, he had a career. He had a level of expertise that I wanted, which is very similar to the idea of having a lot of money. When I wanted to learn how to do hypnosis shows, I found the best person that I could find in the business, and I went up to him and I said, I love what you do. I actually watched his show, so I wasn't lying. And he was funny as all get out. It was super funny. He's actually coming here this month in about 2 weeks, and we're going to spend the day together, and he's going to do some hypnosis shows, and we're going to reminisce and talk about how messed up last year was a little bit, because, well, we all know that, and he had no business last year because he's a hypnotist. And so we're going to go to Oregon State Fair, and we're going to have a really good time. But I went to his show, and I walked up to him, and I said, it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. I want you to train me. And he said, no, but you can come to the seminar I'm doing the next day, or a couple days later. And I said, no, I want you to train me. I'm serious. I really want you to train me. And it took about 9 months of me telling him I want him to train me. And you know what? I went out with him for 8 weeks. And I was trained by one of the best in the business how to do a stage hypnosis show. And, you know, it was one of the best things I ever did. I enjoyed every minute of it. It was amazing. The thing is, it's networking. It's networking. It's finding people in your network. It's finding people around you and going up and asking them, hey, what are you doing? How are you doing it? When are you doing it? Where are you doing it? Why are you doing it? It's a great question too. But more than anything, when we're doing that, it's all about developing a relationship. See, at Generator Coaching, we talk about relationships, resources, and results. And if we don't have the relationships, then it's hard to have resources. And without relationships and resources, it's very difficult to get the results you're looking for. Because, well, how many people in here have ever gone to a grocery store for something? Like food, right? We all go to the grocery store for food. Well, who puts that in there? Other people. What about going to an office supply store because you need office supplies? You got to go there to get the office supplies. You just can't make them. Everything is about our relationships and resources. And so in order to get the results you want, we have to have the resources, we have to have the relationships, and it starts by networking. It starts by who do you know? It starts by what do you know? What can I do for you? This is one of the conversations that I have with everyone when I'm talking to them about working with them. What can I do for you? How can I help? How can I be of service? Another way I ask it. And I found that the more that I'm of service, the more people are open to be of service to me. And over the last 25, 30 years that I have been working in this kind of way, doors have opened for me that people just, how did you do it? And it always boils down to networking. It always boils down to talking to people about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it and what they're doing and how I can help them do what they're doing. It's always about that. No matter what we're doing, dealing with large amounts of money, with people with large amounts of money, with people with large businesses, no matter what it is, large real estate portfolios, it's all about how I can help you. What are you looking for? How can I be of service to you? When we're thinking about that, we're thinking about how we can help them. We stop thinking about ourselves, our little plans and designs. We stop thinking about how we can get what we want, and we start really showing up from that place of service, from that place of connection, from that place of wanting to add to without taking away. And that's something that I talk about a lot, is this idea of adding to a situation without taking away. And what that really means when I'm talking about it is we human beings have that place of scarcity inside our mind. It's part of our ego. It's the protection system. We like to protect ourselves. And so we think from a place of scarcity, especially when we don't have things. And so when we go into relationships, thinking about what we can get, it's that scarcity mindset. And it's thinking about what's going to happen, what angles we can play, how we can make it work the way we want to. And it's all selfish, self-centered. and it doesn't work. And even if you're trying to be present for the other person, when we come from that place, it really shuts down the conversation and we have a problem in the connection. We feel disconnected, they feel disconnected, awkwardness can come in. We start to feel inferior, we start to feel pressured, our head starts getting louder, and then we can't hear the other person say what they're saying because we're so busy listening to ourselves. When we settle down and we go, okay, how can I be of service? How can I be present and helpful to these other people? What do they need? What do they want? Our head quiets down. We can actually be present for them. We can actually help them with what they're doing. And the reality is, there's a spiritual principle that when we're helping other people, we're going to get what we need. We're going to have all of our needs met, because whatever's running this world, it knows what we need and it has it for us. But we have to be able to be of service to the other people. And I joke that it's so we get out of the way so we can get whatever God is giving to us. We have to get ourselves out of the way by being of service. We have to get ourselves out of the way by being present for other people. And it doesn't mean that we just give constantly, although we're doing that. What it means is we're being intentional about using our gifts that were given to us to help other people become better. I happen to do it with speaking. I happen to do it with coaching. One of my coaches talks about, Terry, you get paid for 3 things: what you know, what you see, and what you do. And he said, what you do is the least important. It's what you know and what you see, because you see things other people don't see. Sometimes I believe him, and sometimes I'm like, I don't know, I feel pretty normal like everybody else. And I mean, it seems like I'm pretty normal, but he sees something in me that I don't see. And so we don't see ourselves the way other people see us. And so if we just go in a place of service, a place of openness, a place of vulnerability, and see how we can bring ourselves, that best part of us, to those interactions, everybody wants to do business with us. Everybody wants to be connected with us. And I don't think there's one person on this call right now that I wouldn't want to hang out with, have a conversation with, do business with, grow with. In fact, I've done that with all of you, except for maybe 1 or 2 that haven't been at group events yet. But it's on the way. The reality is that learning to love dealing with large amounts of money and with people that have large amounts of money, it's all about learning to be super okay with you. It's learning to be super okay with working with other people, being open and vulnerable, being able to say, hey, I don't know how to do this. Being able to go up to Mark and say, hey, I don't know how to do a stage hypnosis show. I want you to show me. And then be persistent, but not annoying persistent. Be genuinely persistent that what you have, I want, and I am willing to work for it. I'm willing to pay for it. I'm willing to work for it. I'm willing to be there for it. I'm willing to see whatever you have so that I can help you as you help me. And if I'm not able to help you because you're so well off, who do you know that I can help? Who else do you know? Who else can I help? And that's the way our network starts to grow. Who else do you know? How can I be there for them? What else do you need? What do you have going on that I can't help with, but I happen to know who can? I have a big network of people who can help. And so who can I connect you with? I got a call yesterday from a guy who I've been talking to for about a month, who every time he talks to me, he's like, Terry, how are we going to make money together? And I'm like, I don't know, because he's in a completely different business than I am. He's in cybersecurity. And I have no idea what the hell that is, first. Two, I don't really know how to actually put him in contact with other people. But as we were talking, I was like, you know what? You are a money finder. That's what he does for his company. Right now, he works for this big company that does cyber defense. I don't know how to describe it really, because I don't know what it is, but huge company. And he got hired in there to find the money. I just happen to have a project that I'm working on with Patrick. We need some money. So I said, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm not sure who I know or who I don't know, but if you put a blurb together so I can describe what you do the way you would say what you do, I'll be more than happy to connect you with some of the people that I know that are in IT, that are in tech, that might be able to use your services. But I got to ask you a question. And he's like, what's the question? And I said, you find money, right? And he's like, yes, I do. I said, well, I need some money to be found. And I laid out my project that I have going on with Patrick. And he goes, you know what? I think I know two people that might be interested in that. $11 million, two people. A few months back, about a month and a half ago, I reached out to another friend of mine who's a dentist who said, I think I know somebody who can help you with that project. He got back to me 2 days ago saying, I think I found it. Let's set up a meeting next week. See, the funny thing is it's large amounts of money with people who have large amounts of money, but I didn't start there. I started with people who I know. And I talk about what I'm looking for and what I need. And I talk about how I can help other people with their stuff. And that's how it works, is it's just huge networking. It's not a networking event. It's networking. Hey, Dorina, who do you know that does this or that? If you guys want to connect with people who can sell houses, Dorina has a whole network. Marketer, she happens to know one. Coach, she happens to know a few. Matt Beers has a whole team behind him. He might not be able to do something, but his whole team can. He's not going to go pound nails, but he's got a team that could probably handle some kind of project for you. Kim Harvey, if you guys need your house redecorated, or you have a client who wants a big project or even a small project that is just amazing, Kim Harvey's your person. And so each one of us have the ability to help in some way. You know, Robert Posendek, he has closed so many houses in the last 5 months. He just got his real estate license. He's closed more houses than a lot of realtors have been realtors for 3 years. My point is that we all have talents. We all know things. We all see things, and we all do things. And each one of those things that we can do and that we know and that we see is valuable. And when we start paying attention to the value we have, when we start paying attention to what we can do with other people and we share that with other people, we start to build a network. We start to build that network that helps us to step into the greatness that we have from a point of love and service. We start to really be able to take that action. And remember, I was talking about this Saturday for anybody who's on that call. Love for me is not an emotion, it's an action. And it's the action of helping other people, of being service to other people. It's not about a great, wonderful feeling towards someone. It's about taking action to help them, taking action to even point their attention towards what they're missing. One of the biggest things I do in coaching is care enough to say you're screwing up. You're missing something. Look at this. You're seeing it in a wrong way. Look at this way. And some people are like, whoa, you can't tell people that. Yes, you can. If you care about them, you tell them when you see them off track. If you were watching a train go down the track and you saw a big mess on the track, wouldn't you want to get a hold of the person driving the train and go, hey, there's a big mess? you might want to move that mess out of the way. You might want to slow down and see how you can fix that. But for some reason, we all want to not say something because we don't want to offend. The reality is the people who love money or have large amounts of money, I mean, the people who we want to connect with, they want you to tell them when there's stuff on the track, because they want to keep their large amounts of money. They want to use their large amounts of money to help other people. And the only way they can is when they can move clearly down the track very quickly. And so when you're thinking about what you're doing and how you're doing it, you want to think about being 100% you. You want to bring yourself. You want to have that faith in yourself. And you want to go for the bigger fish. You don't want to play in a single family. You want a multifamily. Why? Because multifamily brings more. Well, it's a bigger thing. Yeah, but you're helping more people. If you're a multifamily investor, you're actually looking at those properties as a cash investment for you that brings money back in. But the other thing that you're doing that's more important is you're providing housing for 2, 3, 5, 6, 10 families. And so you're actually adding to the flow of life. You're adding to where people can have comfort. And so it's not just about the money you're making. That's wonderful, but it's really about how many people you're helping at a time. I honestly believe that as a multifamily investor, when you're dealing with huge amounts of units, you're making the money not because you've got a bunch of units, but it's because you're helping a bunch of families. I truly believe that when you're doing big deals, more people are being helped by the big deals than they are by your money that you're making. And who here isn't thinking that when I make a lot of money, I'm going to help other people? I know I'm thinking that every time. The more money I make, the more money I can help with people with. The more I can get out there and do more things, the more I can invest. The project that I'm doing with Patrick, it's sober living. For those folks that don't know it, I've been sober for 25 years. I finally found a way to give back the way I want to at the rate that I feel that I've gotten from my recovery. I'm going to help a huge amount of people have a place to live while they go through the process of learning about themselves and letting go of addiction. I can't think of anything better than that. It's a passion of mine. But before I got into a passion of mine, I built a business. I built a business that makes $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month. And with that money, I actually spend more to actually help more people. Everything that Christine and I do is about getting into our community and being of service. As we're being of service, we're helping more people. As we're helping more people, we get bigger fish. As we get bigger fish, we're able to help more people in those companies. We want to help companies because it's more people, more relationships. Helping them to be able to communicate, helping them to resolve conflict, helping them to be able to get on the same page, helping them to make more money so that they can help other people in turn. We always think about money, but the money is actually just a yardstick of how we're doing. And it's fuel to be able to do more. You know, Gualter was talking about Saturday, he was talking about the idea of money is the root of all evil. It's not. He's right. The love of money is not the root of all evil. The love of money is really the love of being able to help more people. The fear of focusing only on money creates that idea. And people get mixed up in their mind around it because they're listening to their ego talk about money's being evil. Money's just fuel. And there's some people with a lot of it. And most of the people with a lot of it want to help more people get more of it. But they're not going to buy into something with somebody who's insecure. They're not going to spend their money on a bad investment. And insecurity is one of the worst investments that you can really invest in. Security is pretty good. Insecurity, not so good. And so we got to look at ourselves and go, wait, am I insecure right now? Am I frightened about what people think of me? Am I dominated by my emotions? And if you are, that's okay. You want to identify the emotions that you're dominated by, because those are the ones that are going to, when you get through them, they're going to catapult you into a balanced, intentional place where you can make change, where you can actually bring your wonderful self to those people and to be of service. And so it's all about how we appreciate ourselves. When we're honest with ourselves about how we're feeling, we're honest about what we want, when we're honest about what we don't want, when we're honest about what we can and can't do, and we go and be of service in those ways that we can help, we make huge change in the world. We make huge change in ourselves. We make huge change in the world. We contribute to the flow of life. And when we're doing that, we're attractive, and people see us, and people want to spend with us, and people want to help us move forward. People want to introduce us to other people. People want to connect with us. Every one of us on here has the ability to do that. And as we connect with other people and we share our brilliance, by the way, that's what I'm talking about in my book, is the brilliance of others. Following the brilliance of others, sharing my brilliance with others. And every one of us has brilliance in us. And as we identify our brilliance and bring that out, capitalize on it, we start to make money, we start to become wealthy, we start to be able to share our wealth with others. It's a beautiful thing. All of this is a beautiful thing, because what it really is, it's really living intentionally in alignment with our emotions, with our mind, with our partners, with our friends, with our higher power, or God, whatever you call it, to move forward, to have a life that we absolutely love. Christine and I, we love our life. When we first started Generator Coaching, we weren't necessarily sure. We were both in transition. I had just left my thing and she had just left hers and wasn't really having the success we wanted. But the first thing we did was invest. The first thing we did was invest in ourselves. Was it a great investment in coaching? It was, actually. We spent a hell of a lot of money and didn't get the coaching we really wanted to, but we got some relationships that were just phenomenal. And I'm in here doing what I'm doing here today because of one of those relationships with Gualter and with Doug and with another friend of ours, Morrow. We have relationships that have created wealth for us, a wealth of individuals, a wealth of money, a wealth of knowledge. And I would not trade any one of the relationships I have, even in this room right here that we're talking in, for the money that I spent on that program. And it was a lot. And the fact of the matter is as we move forward, we're just collecting more people to go on the journey with us, to help them create the business and the life and the relationships they desire. And that's what we came up with the Generator, to start our journey on the bullet train. When we were talking about Generator Coaching, I was talking about this morning, I think with Ryan McDermott. In fact, we were talking about coming up with a business name for one of the things he's doing right now. And I told him the story of how we came up with Generator. We were looking at accelerator, and we were looking at speed, and we were looking at all these different words. For days, we'd go on walks and we'd do these 10,000 step walks because we got these Apple Watches, and we needed to do the thing because the watch tells you got to take 10,000 steps. And so, well, we're doing that. And as we're doing that, we're talking about different names and why we want to do it. We talk about the idea that relationships, resources, results are really important to us. We also talk about the business, the relationships, and life you love. And the reality is we decided when we found that Generator was available, that what I believe 100% is that you generate your results no matter what, whether they're good or bad, you generate them. You go and do, and what happens is the result is generated from you. And so you generate the relationships, the business, and the life, and you can either love it or you can hate it, but it all came from you. And so we came up with generator as that's the thing. That's the hook. Now, what do you want? Do you want a business, relationships, and life you love? Or do you want to keep struggling? Do you want to generate the things you don't like? Because what you've done so far is what you're going to continue to do without help. And I know this from my 25 years helping people, watching them come in without help, and then me just doing a few little things from what I know and what I see. Help them make a little bit of change. They do the changing. They get the results, and their life changes. It's different. Not necessarily better in the beginning, but as they start to understand the changes, they understand that philosophy change, they start to enjoy their lives, and they get to enjoy that generation that they've created. And so when we roll it back, what we're really talking about is when we're talking about large sums of money, we're not talking about large sums of money, millions of dollars. We're talking about a huge appreciation and worth for yourself. We're talking about a huge appreciation for the other people, a huge appreciation for the direction you're going. If you think about appreciating assets, we're talking about assets that gain value. And so it's our worth that's gaining value as we build our network, as we connect with people that have more than us and see how we can help them get more, bring those people who don't have as much as us along with us and build them up. And what we do is we create a whole community moving forward, rising. And they talk about all over the place. I hear it all the time. All boats rise with the tide. That's what we're talking about here. And we're talking about on the bullet train. We make the tide rise faster. We make the tide rise faster by helping you get rid of the trash on your track. And the trash on your track is all of that noise in your head talking about how you're not worthwhile, how you're not worth as much as somebody else with $100,000 more than you, or $1 million more than you, or how they'll never do the deal with you, or how this deal is going to fall through, or how you're never going to find the money. The fact of the matter is everything you've ever wanted has already been given to you. You just got to live in thankful contemplation of whatever is in this world presiding over us, and it's given to us already. We have to be open and focus on what's there for us. And it's given to us. We don't have to take it. We don't have to get it. We don't have to go find it. We just have to be open to it. It's a little bit different than manifestation. It's about being open to what's already been given. We don't have to manifest it. We have to see it. We have to be aware of it. We have to walk into it in a place of love and service. I like to say manifest action, but take action to see what's out there and to be able to connect with other people, to see how we can be of service to them. Maybe it's just to listen to what they're going through. Maybe it's to give them some suggestions on what to change. Maybe it's to loan them money. Maybe it's to give them a deal. Maybe it's to connect them with somebody else. Doesn't matter what it is, but that's what networking is all about. Networking is not an event. Networking is a way of life. Networking is a way of communicating with other people, seeing how I can add to your life without taking away. And that's what we do at Generator. We see how we can help each person, what we can do to add to their lives without taking away. And that's why this wealth principle is so important to me. I mean, every one of them are, because each one of these wealth principles, each one of these business principles is about growing your business. And that's what this is all about, is build your business and profit. And build your business and profit, you can't do it without people. You can't do it without being there with people. And so that's what we're doing. We're here for other people. We're here to help. We're here to move people forward. We're here to create the movement that Alchemist Nation is all about. Moving everyone forward to being the best you can be, to having the wealth that you desire, to move in the direction you want to move, having the business, the relationships, and the life you love. That's what it's all about. And so I'm going to open it up for about 5 minutes. Anybody have questions, comments? And then we're going to end this somewhere right around 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock for you West Coasters or East Coasters. One of those coasts. Questions, comments? If not, we will end. Kim Harvey.
Hi.
Hi.
Running around. So the networking, this was awesome tonight. I'm really glad I tuned in, and my last appointment actually canceled, so I was able to jump on the call. So yay.
Great to see you.
Great to see you too. So definitely the networking and the lessons that we learn, and the confidence that we all gain through just being obsessed by our education and our coaching and talking to other people in our community constantly. I probably talked to 22 people, maybe 23 people today in our immediate community. And I can't disclose anything yet, but I have quite a few deals going with several people in our community. And I am convinced and convicted to make these deals happen for these people, because a couple of them are first deals. And, I've been doing this for a while, and with the diversification of my businesses, I feel like I've been a huge asset for a couple of these people, and I am doing whatever I have to do to make these deals work. I just went over several contracts. I had my legal team look over several other contracts, and it looks like we are going to sign and close in the next couple of days, and I'm really excited about it. But this call was perfect, and it was perfect, spot on for everything that's been going on in my life for the past couple of weeks. And I'm really excited about it. So I can't wait to share everything with the community, and just, for all those people with analysis paralysis, just do it, and just bullet train through. And a lot of us just kind of go like, oh my God. And I have been the first to do that for probably 3 years. I did it. And then finally, I'm like, screw it. If I don't have the answers, I find the answers, I find the people, and we take action and get it done.
Well said. Congratulations on all those deals. It's amazing. Kim Harvey is actually a good human. And I don't know why I'm saying that. I just want to good human. I tell you that. And the funny thing is she is exactly what I'm talking about. She's networking with all kinds of people, moving into bigger deals, moving into huge deals. And the reality is that when we believe in ourselves, anything's possible, because we're doers. And that's the way it goes. She's a doer. The more we do, the more we see, the more we can share what we know, the more value we bring. Mm-hmm. And that's where the magic is.
Yeah. And I think what's important as well, Terry, and you said it, was that, you care about people. And when you see people that need to be put back on the track, that's what makes us the good people to work with. And it's the integral, the honesty, the pick me up, right? They need that pick me up, or they need that push to just accelerate themselves. And for me, I like to use reverse psychology sometimes, and you're probably gonna put a hole in this, but anyways, this is what
Hey.
I reverse psychology by encouragement and building them up with confidence. And then I take them through step by step by step. And, once they accomplish that one step, then I bring them to another step and have them accomplish that, so that they don't feel overwhelmed. Like I'm just like puking out all these steps to them, that I'm taking them through step by step and building their confidence. I'm like, oh my gosh, you did it. Awesome. Let's go to this step. And so I think that if you take that approach, with any problem that we have, or actually not problem, we find solutions, right, for situations. And I just think it's awesome. And it feels so good. Like it really, like, it's like a high when you get like out there, and it's just this euphoria that like, oh my gosh, I helped like 5 people today. It was awesome.
Yeah, it gets to be, and the funny thing is I actually became a psychologist as a result of helping a number of people. And I noticed how much my life gets better when I'm helping other people. This is back in 1998 or something like that, a long time ago, before the turn of the century. Weird. But in 1997, 98, I was really focused on helping other people. And I noticed that my life felt really good. I felt really good. I felt connected to other people when I was doing that. So I had this thing about me that I see things a little bit better and a little bit different than other people. And so when I realized that that was one of my gifts, I had to pursue it. I was going to be a chef of a restaurant. And it turned my whole life around when I realized I had that gift. And so whatever gift you have, you want to take action on that gift. You want to take action on really moving forward in that gift. And if you don't know what to do, that's when you reach out to us. You reach out to Alchemist Nation, you reach out to me, Generator Coaching. You get on my calendar. We talk about what you do. We talk about how you can do it. And I talk about how I can help you. And when you start taking action on what you really want in your life, what you really want in your business, what you want in your relationships, we start to put a plan together that helps you to get all of those things you want. And then your wealth starts to grow. Your wealth of information, your wealth of money, your wealth of relationships, everything starts to grow. And you start moving in the direction you wanted to. And some of the people that I've worked with were really down when I started working with them. And their whole life changed and turned around. They have a totally different situation than they did when I started working with them. Some people just are moving faster the way that they had been before, but they're moving faster. They feel more confident. They feel more put together. They feel like they have a real system in place. Some people are still figuring it out. But one thing's for sure, no one's doing it alone when they're working with Generator Coaching, because we partner with you for growth. We don't partner with you for your money. We partner with you for growth. That's what we really do. We help you as if we have a part of your company, of your life, of your world. And it's not just you, it's us. What are we doing today? How are we moving forward today? How can we help you move forward today? And that's what it is for us. So I've got to go. I've got a call in about 2 minutes. And so you guys have a great day. We'll see you on 52 weeks. Don't forget, Be the Bank on Friday if you want to show up for that. I absolutely love being here for you guys. And I will see you next time.
Thanks, Terry.
When you have a choice, always work with the best.
Terry. Best.
Best.